The world's a dangerous place. Get the industry's original and most trusted laser sighting system from Crimson Trace. A laser and light systems will enhance your effectiveness and help keep you and your family out of harm's way.
The #1 national voice in defense of your Second Amendment rights. Gun Talk, available on iTunes and on the free Gun Dealio smartphone app for Android and iPhone. To be on the air with Tom, call us now, 866-825-5486 or 1-TOM-TALK-GUN. Now, here's Tom.
All right, back with you here, Tom Gresham. Glad that you could join us. We're in the third hour here of having just a bunch of fun talking about guns. If you have a range report to give us or a question, by all means, give us a holler, 866-TALK-GUN. If you know what? If you don't like guns, if you think we're all crazy, give me a call. We'll move you to the front of the line, and I'll get out of your way, and you can have the floor for a little while. Now, I may ask you a question or two to have you clarify your position, but if you're just really convinced that guns are terrible or gun owners are terrible, or you have a position like that, you betcha. Love to hear it. We'll have a civil conversation. Fair enough? The number is 866-TALK-GUN. Actually, it's easier to remember if you just dial Tom Talk Gun, and that will get you in here. We are coming up pretty quickly on the NRA's annual meetings. A lot of us call it the NRA show because you have, this year it's going to be in Louisville, Kentucky. You have the event itself, and there are workshops and lectures and events and shows and the elections and just all sorts of NRA meeting things. But then you also have the show part. It's an exhibit hall. It's kind of a miniature SHOT Show where a lot of the manufacturers exhibit their wares. So you can't go out and buy a gun there, but you can go see all the guns. So you could go see Browning and Springfield Armory and Smith & Wesson and Ruger and all their cool stuff and handle their guns and all that. It's pretty neat. You get to meet a lot of interesting people. And I will just tell you, it is tons of fun. Well, there may be something else you could do while you're there. In fact, you might even be able to get your way paid there. Helping us to make that all happen, let me bring in right now Ryan Repp from Brownells, the good folks up in Montezuma, Iowa. Hey, Ryan.
Hey, Tom. How you doing?
Actually, Montezuma and now Grinnell with your new operation, huh?
That's exactly right. We've got a couple locations up here, growing. It's a good thing.
Yeah, well, after a couple of years now in business, how about that, huh?
No kidding. Yeah. Actually, the retail store, the much-awaited retail store, will open March 30, so we're pretty excited about that. So
that is so cool. How long has Brownells been in operation?
We're in our 77th year, so been around a little while.
Wow, 77th year. For those, I'm sure everybody knows, but if you don't know, Brownells, Brownells, Brownells.com, still put out the huge catalog. I know the online is a big part of it, but you do still put out that massive catalog, right? Yeah,
we sure do. Going to see some new catalogs this year too. So kind of expanding what we're up to in catalogs. So I'll give you a little hint there.
Okay, well, you've been doing that. You had an AR catalog, you had a 1911 catalog, and I see online you've gotten into like preparation stuff. You've had military law enforcement arm of your operation for a long time. No telling what all you guys are getting into.
That's right. Yeah, this year we're starting to sell a few firearms online, which is the first time in a long time. So going to dip our toe into that world. So. Yeah, lots of exciting things going on. Like I said, retail.
Well, is it 4 or 5 years ago you guys got into ammo, and so you become a major ammo seller?
Yeah, ammo's been very, very popular for us. Ammo and reloading also. Ah,
that's right. Of course, you bought Sinclair, so you got that side of the reloading also. So you're into basically all things guns and shooting, and actually even related to it. Brownells is there now.
That's right. Yeah, I think... at last count, we're somewhere in the neighborhood of 2,000 to 2,200 different suppliers, industry names that sell through Brownells. So, yeah, pretty much anything. And the way I put it, Tom, is if it goes on in, through, around, or near a firearm, we probably have it.
Does anybody actually know how many things Brownells sells? How many different items?
We could probably run some sort of sophisticated report to tell us, but we use in the neighborhood of 90 to 100,000 products, somewhere in that area.
Okay, yeah, I was going to guess 100, so I wasn't too far off. All right.
Yeah,
well, we're putting together this very cool thing. You've been doing this Brownells trivia contest, and the winner gets a SCAR rifle. All you got to do is go to brownells.com/GUNTALK. But, the part we haven't talked about is what you're going to be doing at the NRA show. And Brownells has been at, is every NRA show?
Yeah, since I think the first NRA show that we went to was 1948. We've been at every single one of them since. And I think that there's, I'm speaking off the top of my head at this point, but Weatherby, I know, has been doing it for...
I think there's only two. Yeah, I think there's one or two others is all.
Yeah, I think there's three of us that have been going to and supporting the NRA and the NRA show for as long as that. And I think it's Weatherby and Brownells. And there's one other brand, and it doesn't come to the top of my head right now. But, yeah, long time.
And Brownells has been a huge supporter of the NRA from the very beginning and continues to be a monster supporter of the NRA. But we're going to do something fun this year, right?
Absolutely.
So somebody is going to be, this is kind of a random deal. Someone's going to get picked to win, and you're giving away a SCAR rifle, but also somebody, you explain. We're going to bring them to the NRA show?
Yeah, absolutely. So hopefully folks have been hearing the Brownells GUNTALK trivia questions, and hopefully they've been going to, brownells.com/GUNTALK to answer the trivia questions each week. Well, when they answer those trivia questions and they put their name and email in, they're automatically entered to win sort of the grand prize. And that grand prize is, like you covered, is an FN SCAR gun, which is like a $3,400 value. But it also includes travel accommodations and a trip for two to Louisville, which is pretty cool. And we're gonna take you out to dinner, and you're gonna have dinner with we'll do our best. Pete's schedule's pretty crazy, but as you know, Pete, our CEO, is also the first vice president of the NRA. So hopefully they'll get dinner with Pete if we can arrange it. And then one of the cool things they get to come on your show and talk to Tom Gresham on GUNTALK Radio. So that'll be a cool piece too.
On the floor of the NRA show, we're going to be doing the radio show. They can come in and spend a little time, we'll chat on the radio. And I know, look, and for those who don't know, Pete Brownells, great guy, but boy, is his time in demand because he is, frankly, he's going to be the incoming president of the NRA. So you can imagine how much people want a piece of him, but that would be very cool. But at the very least, you're going to go out with the Brownells folks, have dinner, and this is a trip for two.
That's a trip for two. That's right. Yeah, actually, airfare and hotels paid for. So folks got to get to the website and win. And there's only about four trivia questions / weeks left. So coming down to the end.
Come down to the end. So you got to get in, man. You got to get your entry in there, and anybody can win. So there you go. Obviously, you got to be legal to own a gun before you can get that. And there are some rules there, but that's not a big deal. Right. So there you go. So tell me what's new. What's going on at Brownells? You guys have become a massive producer of instructional, informative videos also.
Yep. We've got a significant number of videos. You can find those in the Learn section of the website, or you can find us on YouTube as well. Subscribe on YouTube. What we're doing is coming out actually with a new series of quick tips, which are just minute and a half little blurbs about firearms. So some of the new ones are, the difference between tritium sights and fiber optic sights, for instance.
Oh,
so just for people to know, what's the difference between, what's really the difference between 5.56 and 2.23, where we explain those in videos. So we call those little quick tips. We've got a maintenance series out, which are broken down into the disassembly, the cleaning, lubrication, reassembly of several common firearms and platforms. So really goes along with, Brownells trying to lead in the information front and not just the product front. So a lot of that stuff, new, neat stuff. Of course, we've got our new, the Brownells M16, the original A1 uppers and lowers that came out. We launched them at SHOT Show, and they sold out almost immediately. So I think we're waiting on some of them to come back in. And I didn't get a chance to check availability, but I suspect they'll be coming back in soon. So those are all really, really great new and fun items that have been popular.
The other thing people can do is if they go to the website, I know they can get on the mailing list so you get an email alert when you guys have got new cool things, and you have a lot of deals out there that some of them don't last that long, and you need to be on the email list to take advantage of the cool deals.
That's right. And so it's always great to get signed up for the emails because you're going to get kind of first access. The other thing, though, and we've had it out for about a year now, is our Edge program, which is, it's a shipping, it's kind of a free shipping program, gets you expedited, discount expedited shipping. But the Edge members are going to continue to see more benefits. And this year, one of those benefits is they're going to get kind of early access to products that we suspect will be in really high demand. So, let's say that we get some 22 ammunition in. We want to continue to build value in for those members who have paid their $49.95 fee. So they will get kind of first crack at some of those things that we think will be in really high demand.
You just sign up to be on the Edge program. Just go to the website, brownells.com, to do that, right?
Yeah. You can type in it. Just search Edge on the search bar, or you can go to brownells.com/Edge to learn more. But, like I said, lots of great benefits for $49.95 a year. If you're ordering more than 3 or 4 times a year for us, it's really no questions asked, slam dunk. You got to do it.
Well, yeah, because now you're getting free or expedited or maybe even cheaper shipping, but you're getting a great deal on your shipping, and that becomes significant.
Right, absolutely. Yeah, we figure it pays for itself, depending on what you're ordering and the quantity and the size of your orders. On average, 4 to 5 orders, it's paid off.
Wow, amazing. All right, Ryan, I appreciate you visiting us. I'm going to encourage everybody to go to brownells.com/GUNTALK. Enter for a chance to win the SCAR rifle, but also a trip for 2 to the NRA annual meeting where you get to be on Gun Talk with me, get to hang out with the Brownells folks, go out to dinner, lots of fun stuff. I mean, it's great. And I'll be seeing you there, so we'll look forward to that, Ryan.
Take care, Tom. Safe travels.
All right, you take care. All right, open lines for you now. What have you been shooting? Who did you take to the range? And would you invite... Already been taken to task on this. Would you invite Donald Trump to come have dinner with you in your home? Oh, they hated it when I said that. Oh, my goodness. 866-TALK-GUN.
Hi, this is Joe. I bought a silencer from Silencer Shop, and it was a pretty amazing experience. I simply went to silencershop.com, followed the instructions, purchased my silencer, and they took care of the rest. My local firearm dealer called me when my silencer arrived. Did you know a silencer is an important accessory that offers an added hearing protection and greater shooting accuracy? It's great for hunters and those who want to enjoy more social interaction during shooting sports. Visit silencershop.com to find a silencer for your firearm.
The .45 Auto, also known as the 1911, is the standard other defensive pistols are measured against. No matter what pistol you carry, techniques developed around the 1911 are vital. You know you need training, and you know your concealed carry class definitely was not training. Now Gun Talk presents an exciting DVD, Fighting with the 1911 with Tiger McKee. Tiger's unique training style will have you drawing, moving, shooting, and running your gun better, no matter what style pistol you prefer. At ShopGunTalk.com, you can order our DVDs of Tiger's instruction. ShopGunTalk.com also has a 2-DVD set, including Concealed Carry 1. Get both for the information you know you need. This really is life and death. ShopGunTalk.com has DVDs, books, and other essential gear. ShopGunTalk.com. That's ShopGunTalk.com.
Join the Ruger 2 Million Gun Challenge and help donate $4 million to the NRA Institute for Legislative Action. The NRA ILA is committed to preserving the Second Amendment right of all law-abiding individuals to purchase, possess, and use firearms. And Ruger pledges to donate $2 for each new Ruger firearm sold between the 2015 and 2016 NRA annual meetings. Visit Ruger.com/2 million to learn more and support the NRA ILA by buying a new Ruger firearm today.
Are you looking for a place to shoot? The National Shooting Sports Foundation has a great website called wheretoshoot.org. It's the largest database of shooting ranges on the internet. It's also a great resource for shooters where you can find video tips, printable targets, and a lot more. Find it online at wheretoshoot.org. And while you're there, download their free iPhone app. That's wheretoshoot.org.
Hsm Ammunition has been loading quality ammo since 1968. Hsm makes a complete line of centerfire loads including long range, cowboy action, lead-free, dangerous game, and even a designated line of hard-cast bear ammunition for maximum penetration to stop game now. The latest 223 option from HSM, Varmint Blue, features a 55-grain Sierra Blitz King bullet. HSM Ammunition at your local shooting sports retailer.
Okay, if you don't know yet, you should know, but if you don't, we just put up the second half of our episodes for this season of First Person Defender. These are the situations where you take average people and stick them into self-defense situations and attack the heck out of them in some form or fashion. We had a guy with a pipe wrench, a guy with a crowbar, guys with knives, taking people hostage, obviously people with guns, robbing places, and then see how these people do in force-on-force situations, all suited up using simunitions. Just go, and it can be eye-opening for people, and we get these comments from people who go, "Wow, had no idea that happened so fast. I never thought of that." Those are the two things we get all the time. It happened so fast, I never thought of that. All the time. Just got this email from Ken. It says, "Tom, I've been shooting for nearly 30 years and taking over 800 hours of training from major shooting schools." That's a lot of hours. "I also compete in monthly local IDPA and IPSC matches." He's a shooter. "I consider myself an expert in shooting and handling firearms. I have watched several episodes in First Person Defender and the most recent episode where the instructor points out the importance of scanning before one reacts, drawing the gun. Specifically, one needs to scan around and identify other threats and accomplices first. This is a direct result of the lesson learned from the CCW holder killed by the female accomplice in Las Vegas." And that's one of the things we do. We take these stories right out of the news. The Lynn Russell, the former CNN anchor who was attacked in a hotel room, we recreate that. We recreate these stories out of the news and say, okay, this is what happened. This is how it happens. What can we learn from that? And let people get trained up. He says, "I am disappointed," Ken continues, "I am disappointed with myself after watching these episodes that I don't feel confident I will do the right thing. I'm confident that I can shoot extremely well, but disappointed that I am unable to react to these vastly different situations correctly. On the one hand, I appreciate the valuable lessons that may save my life later, yet at the same time, I feel that I'm not ready to properly react to these ever-changing situations. Even if I devote myself to force-on-force training for years, I feel I cannot learn it all. Do you have any suggestions how one can improve one's survival skills?" Ken in El Paso. Ken, yeah, do what you're doing. You cannot be perfect. You cannot have enough skill level, enough guns, enough anything to make you absolutely positively safe so that nothing can happen to you. All you can do is try to be good and then try to be better. And the first step to that is recognizing that whatever we are is not as good as we could be if we worked a little harder at it. And if that means you can go to a lot of gunfighting schools, that's great. If you can afford it, you have the time, or watch a lot of videos, you can go watch the First Person Defender videos. Those are free. You can get our DVDs. Those are cheap. Shop GUNTALK.com. Taking local lessons, doing whatever you can, and making a commitment to always be working at it. The fact that Ken is asking the question speaks well for him because it's in his head. And the point we were making was when somebody comes in and starts robbing a place, a lot of times one of the quote-unquote customers is actually an outlier, a backup for the bad guy. Don't be so fast to go to guns. Figure it out. Does it look like anybody's going to get shot here? Are they just taking stuff at this point? Or even if you say, I'm going to engage, wait a minute, figure out, look around, look at what's going on. wait for the opportune time, because somebody already has a gun out. If they're looking at you, you can't outdraw them. They already have a gun out. But if they turn and they're dealing with somebody else, now's your time. But in order to do that, you have to have thought about it ahead of time. You can't come up with this stuff in the middle of it, okay? Let me talk with Jesse on line 2 out of New Mexico. Hey, Jesse, what happened to your pistol here?
Oh, nothing happened to it. I just bought a new RO Springfield Armory.
Mm-hmm.
Had wood grips, changed those out to micarta. What I have a problem with is it's Parkerized, and I can't pick up the front sight. So what I've done is I've used a brass brush to scrub up the serrations on the front, and then I've tried different colors of sight paint. It does not last. I can't make it last more than 2 days. Is the
Parkerization is so into the metal, into the finish of the metal, nothing sticking?
No, nothing sticking. It's an adjustable. It's a range officer.
Right.
So everything's adjustable on it. And I tried to unstake the front sight to put in a luminous one. I've broken off 3 bits so far on the drill press.
Okay. Well, when it comes to gunsmithing, I am not. I don't do it, don't pretend to, don't know. When I have a problem like that, I take it to a real honest-to-goodness gunsmith, or, frankly, and here's a thought for you, just I'm going to throw this thing out. Springfield Armory actually has a custom shop with some really good people there. You could just send the slide back to them and say, hey, could you guys put a fiber optic on this for me? That's certainly an option. But in terms of how to get that thing off of there, I tend to use fine tools. I use a pipe wrench and a sledgehammer, and that's that's my level of finesse. So I, as they say these days, I got nothing, baby. I got nothing to offer other than take it to somebody that knows how to do it. Look, I wish you luck with it. Man, that Parkerization must really go into the metal. Can't get the paint to stick. Oh, holy cow. If you have any thoughts, that can help Jesse, by all means, give me a holler. I'll take the help. Jesse will take the help. 866-TALK-GUN. We'll talk about reloading when we come back. We'll also talk about your shooting plans, your goals, competition, buying more guns, or maybe a little bit broader. Maybe you're going to accept the challenge to introduce more people to shooting this year. 866-TALK-GUN.
GUNTALK encourages you to support the local sporting goods store, gun stores, ATV dealers, and other local businesses in your area who advertise on this station and GUNTALK. Only together can we protect our rights. You're listening to Washington Times opinion page regular contributor Tom Gresham.
All right, let's talk about guns and shooting and ammo and scopes and all sorts of things. Holsters. Once you get started carrying holsters, holy cow. Boy, are we lucky. We got a lot of good holsters out these days. The trick is finding one that works for you. And it's a lot more likely that you'll find one quickly. I'm thinking about, the really good holster makers out there these days are making comfortable holsters. I have a bunch of different ones, but I have to try different ones. I know I get to try different ones, but I have to try different ones. It's all the same thing. And figure out, okay, I like that, doesn't like that. That one, bothers me. And sometimes I can wear one in some times of the year and not other times. Kydex up against your skin in the summer in the south, we're talking heat rash. So, just put plastic up against your skin for 12 to 14 hours. So this is how we find out. We try these different things. I do this for you. If you're in Alabama, if you got a carry permit, good news. Alabama carry permit holders no longer require additional background checks. When you go to the store, you don't have to do a NICS check. Your concealed carry permit now functions as that. Alabama now joins 23 other states that have been given NICS exemptions for concealed carry permit holders. Great idea. 866-TALK-GUN. Just dial Tom-TALK-GUN. Line 1, George, OC Shooters, New York State. What's happening, George?
Not too much. A quick thing on the whole Trump and who should go. All I can do is think of that old song, if you can't be with the one you love, love the one you're with.
Crosby, Stills, and Nash. I get it. There you go.
Right. So, anyway, New York State had filed a lawsuit about the New York SAFE Act, and it went to the Second Circuit. And except for one minor thing where they said you could only have 7 rounds in your 10-round magazine, we pretty much lost everything else. So this is the assault weapons ban in New York State. If you have a semi-automatic firearm with any detachable magazine, it has one other feature, then it's automatically an assault weapon. So there are other things. You can only have 10-round magazines, and pistols can't have the magazine in front of the trigger. So stuff like that. Anyway, we were going to appeal it to the Second Circuit, or the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association was going to appeal it to the Second Circuit. And after Scalia died, they decided that they weren't going to do it. So that's put on hold for now. I don't know if it's possible to get resurrected, but it's one of those things where the best you could hope for at this point, if it got cert and went to the Supreme Court, is a 4-4 decision, because you're not changing the anti-gunners. Right.
Well, and a 4-4 decision just retains the law the way it is. So it'd be if you lost at the Second Circuit and then went to Supreme Court, then they're just going to say, well, then the law is the way it is, and so you've lost.
Yeah, and there is an outside risk. I think it's possible one of the other judges that voted in support of Heller in the Chicago decision, they might have swayed one of those to go along with them, at least in part of some of it. One never knows. So it's the best you could hope for is a tie, and there is an outside possibility that you could definitely set bad precedent. So now that doesn't mean
George. Let me explain. Here's the thing: if it's a tie, if it's a 4-4 tie, then what happens is the decision of the lower court stands, and the only reason that the New York State Rifle and Pistol Association would have been taking it to the Supreme Court is if they had lost at the Second Circuit, so the loss would be locked in. There's one other thing here, George, and look, I appreciate the call. The one other thing is that with Scalia not there, you lose his persuasiveness. You lose his ability, or at least his effort to sway other justices. So to George's point, where you might think it's 4-4, without Scalia arguing his case with other justices, it could be that it ends up being 3-5 the wrong way. So then it gets locked in. So just food for thought. This, my friends, is why Hillary Clinton can't be elected president. Her position, her stated position, openly stated every single day whenever she makes a speech, is the Supreme Court got it wrong on Heller. And what the Supreme Court said in Heller was Americans have an individual right to keep and bear arms. According to Hillary Clinton, that's wrong. And she goes further. She says that must be undone. If nothing else has motivated you to say, okay, I will now get involved. What does that mean to be involved? It means you're going to give some money. I'm going to talk it up. I'm going to make sure not only that I am registered to vote, but that I vote. I'm going to make sure all my friends are registered to vote. I'm going to go set up tables at gun shows and register people to vote. I'm going to be a PITA. I'm going to be a PETA with everybody I know about getting them involved in this, because this one's for all the marbles. It really and truly is. This one, frankly, is for all the marbles. So what's your level of commitment? Have you thought about it? You may be thinking it's a little early. Okay, yeah, it has been up to this point, but I don't think it's early anymore. What are your friends saying? Do they even care? Does the Second Amendment factor into their thoughts when it comes to picking a presidential candidate? I would love to get your report. What are you hearing out there? Call me right now, 866-TALK-GUN. We'll be right back.
What's important in a gun safe? Security, reliability, safety, good looks. It all comes down to quality. quality that's built in from the beginning. Liberty Safe has made quality products for 29 years right here in the USA. Trust your guns, your valuables, and your safety to Liberty Safe. Did you ever regret buying quality? I didn't think so. Get the best. Whatever your budget, get a Liberty Safe. LibertySafe.com.
You're at a gun store and your phone tells you about hot deals. Want to know about special offers? No problem when you have Gun Dealio, the free app for your smartphone. Gun Dealio delivers the latest deals on guns, ammo, and extras direct to your phone. Don't overpay for your shooting gear. Get Gun Dealio. It's free at the App Store and Google Play. Trigger the deals with Gun Dealio. GunDealio.com.
What makes a legacy? Is it quality? Craftsmanship? Maybe it's the idea that every American deserves their right to security and peace of mind on and off the battlefield. What makes a legacy? Here at Colt, we're making it every day. Colt, built one at a time, proven every round.
I'm just as good as these guys. When will I get my chance to prove it?
Your chance is now. American Marksman is a nationwide series of target shooting competitions designed to give you your big break. Think you've got what it takes to go home with $50,000? Visit ammarksman.com to register today. That's ammarksman.com. American Marksman. Are you the one?
Hardcore tactical professionals who put their lives on the line every day depend on Surefire. For decades, Surefire has built the first and finest professional-grade flashlights, weapon-mounted lights, hearing protection, and suppressors. We build the best because lives depend on it. And we know failure is not an option. We design, engineer, and manufacture Surefire products right here in the U.S. For you, for your loved ones, Surefire. American built, American strong. Surefire.com.
Don't want to belabor it, but I do want you to think about it for a second. Rookie officer Ashley Gwendon was killed in a domestic shootout, Prince William County, Maryland. Her first day on the job, the day she got sworn in. She goes out and the guy ambushes her, killed her. I want you to think about, if you would, I mean, not just kind of casually and superficially, but really think about what it's like to roll out each day as a police officer and understand that there's somebody out there that wants to kill you every day. So you might just want to give that officer just a little bit of a break when he or she pulls you over and is a little bit careful, is a little bit guarded, because he can't see your halo. She doesn't know you're the good guy. And I'll guarantee you that officer is thinking about rookie officer Ashley Gwendon, who was just murdered. And he or she, this officer, wants to go home. So cut him a little slack. That's what they're dealing with every day. And if you're out there wearing blue and if you're out there helping people, thank you. I mean, really, seriously, thank you. Line 4, Gary's with us in Illinois. Hey, Gary, what you thinking here?
Hey, Tom. First, I just want to say, yeah, I'd let Donald Trump come eat with me if he wanted to listen to me, but I'm not sure he'd like the menu.
Oh, my gosh, that's one of the funniest things I've heard, if he would come and listen to me. Okay, I'm with you. All right, go ahead.
Just so he knows, in case he's listening to you, the menu would be venison meatloaf, fresh mashed potatoes, black-eyed peas, and cornbread.
Now, I bet he would like that. I mean, look, I have no problem. I'm sure that he likes hunting. His sons are big-time hunters, so I'm sure venison would be high on his list. I said it wouldn't be a problem.
And the actual question I had for you was, it concerns 80% AR lowers,
Mm-hmm.
I know you cannot finish them out and sell them without going through all the paperwork and getting serial numbers on them.
Right. You got to be a licensed manufacturer, firearms manufacturer, if you're going to sell it. But the whole 80% AR lower, the whole deal is that you can, as I understand it, you can make it for yourself.
That was my question. What about my wife? Does she have to do the machining, or can I do the machining on it?
You mean if you want to let her shoot it?
Yeah, let her shoot it.
Huh.
A woman can almost shoot as good as I can, and I ain't planning on making her mad.
But to your point, okay, if you make an 80% lower, and it's legal for you to make this gun yourself because you're finishing it off, because what you buy originally is not a firearm, according to ATF. And by the way, anybody who's thinking about doing the whole 80% lower deal, I would encourage you to go on the ATF's website, look it up, look up the information on it, make sure that you are complying with the law, be a law-abiding person. I do not know the answer to this question, and now it's got me scratching my head, Gary, because I'm thinking, if you make the gun and it is legal for you to make it for your own use, can somebody else use it? Not just, I know you can't sell it because, I don't know. Tell you what, we'll ask. Keep listening. Maybe somebody will call in here quickly before we get to the end of the show. We'll see if we can get that information for you. Thank you, sir. Let's see. Line 2, Bill's in Reno, Nevada. Hey, Bill.
Yeah, hi, Tom. Just a quick comment. There's been grumblings about, if Trump is the nominee, and I think that in order to keep Hillary out, we must vote for whoever the nominee is. And there's been talk that people are going to sit out, and they're gun people, and I don't understand what their mindset is.
I have ordered a truckload of slapograms that I am going to deliver to anybody who tells me they're going to sit out. I don't care. I mean, Trump would probably be my last, or very close to my last choice among the Republicans. Yep. But once we get through the primaries and it's one Republican and one Democrat, he is my first choice. If he's the guy, he becomes my guy. This is way too important for anybody to sit on the sidelines. And I will tell you, you do not want to tell me face to face that you're going to be sitting it out, because I'm going to go Donald Trump on you. That's what I'm going to do.
Well, everybody take note of that. And also one thing, we got a big fight coming up here in November in Nevada. And
yes, you do.
This universal background check is looming over us quite large.
It is a gun registration scheme. It is funded by Bloomberg, bringing it into the state of Nevada. It is part of this ongoing campaign. They can't get it passed on a national basis, so they want to go state by state by state. And they can walk in there and buy. Are you already seeing any ads on this, or is it maybe a little bit too early in the process?
As a matter of fact, one of the head law enforcement, I don't know if it was Nevada state or county or what, he come out in favor of it. And I'm going, Holy moly. And so, no, and I don't know if it was a state guy or a county, I don't know, but some initials, NAA something, law enforcement in Nevada. This guy says, we are for universal background checks. There's no reason. It's not going to, I'm a hunter, blah, blah, blah. I like this. This is going to save people's lives. And I'm thinking, holy moly.
Anytime once somebody starts off with, I'm a hunter, but then I know they're anti-gun rights, and they don't know what the hell they're talking about. So, I mean, really, if you start off with, well, I'm a hunter, but I'm sorry, you're not part of the deal, because it had nothing to do with hunting. It has everything to do with self-defense and gun rights and liberty and personal liberty and not getting the government in our hair. The so-called universal background check is a registration scheme. It cannot work if you don't register guns. What Nevada needs to do is they need to start bringing police officers in from Oregon, where it was passed, from other states where it was passed, and have them stand up and say, this is a freaking nightmare. We can't enforce it. We don't know what it means. We don't know if you could actually loan your gun to somebody else. Can I hand my gun to my wife and have her shoot it? Can I hand it to a buddy there? We don't know what it means. Got to fight it every way you can. right, back with the 866-TALK-GUN to get you in here. If you'd like to, well, you can call me right now. If we can't get you in for this segment, we'll get you in for the after show because that's tons of fun. If you have not experienced the after show, you're missing out. It's fun. You get Jim and Michelle in here, and we knock it around a good bit. Well, actually, Michelle knocks Jim around. That's a whole different thing. You got to check that out. It's fun. You can get the after show, of course, through your iTunes, all of that. But honestly, the easiest way, and the way that makes the most sense, and the way that's going to save you dollars, is to get the GUNDELIO smartphone app for your phone. Available for Android and iOS, the Apple systems. Just GUNDELIO, download it. It will automatically, you can listen to the show that way. It also saves you money. It tells you about deals and alerts when you walk into gun stores. It is seriously cool. Even if I do say myself, we put it together. I just think it's outstanding. People are saving a lot of money with GUNDELIO. Line 4, Paul, Wasilla, Alaska. Paul.
Hello.
Yeah, I hear you, buddy.
These people that are going to sit out the elections, they drive me nuts. Last time around, lots of gun owners said, well, Romney's not a real conservative, so I'm just not going to vote, and I'll show them. And here we are with another 4 years of Obama. That's why we are where we are.
I agree completely. Sitting out is a vote for the Democrat. And they can say, well, I really don't like, I don't care. Well, he's not really, I don't care. Well, you know what he used to say? I don't care. You know what he is? He's ABC. Anybody but Clinton. Because Clinton is a gun banner. Every time she makes a speech, she calls for gun bans. It's not like we have to wonder or she's being coy about it. She stands up and says, we have to ban these guns. Yeah.
Primary is the time to vote your conscience. The general is the time to vote for the guy.
Yeah, even if it's not the one you want, is like where they said, love the one you're with. It's he's the one you're with, whoever it happens to be. And I don't really care. I think Kasich is probably a rhino, okay, but he's not a factor. There's only three. There's actually 1 and 2 that are half possibilities. It's Rubio, Cruz, or Trump. I'm okay with any of them. I am less okay with some versus others, but once we get to the general election, to your point, Paul, I'm 100% in. I am behind our guy. I don't really care because if he's not everything, he's a lot of something. He's better than the Democrat who is standing up and saying, we have to ban guns. I don't know how to put it more clearly than that. Hillary Clinton, if you get a chance, and maybe you're not, do yourself a favor. Tune in to MSNBC sometime. Yeah, I know. But just do it, honestly, seriously. And you'll see a lot more coverage of Hillary. Every single time she makes a speech, a standard part of her speech is saying that the Supreme Court was wrong on Heller. We have to fix that, which means when the Supreme Court said you have a right to keep and bear arms, that's wrong, so we have to take that right away from you. And number 2 is we must reenact the Clinton gun ban. But it has to be expanded to all the other guns that they think are scary looking. It's what it is. If you're going to be voting on Super Tuesday, do what you got to do. But understand that on the backside, we all have to come together. Don't care if your guy is in or out, he's going to be our guy. Simple as that. In the meantime, be safe out there. Watch your back. Watch around. Look at other people when they're handling guns at the public shooting range. There's a lot of casualness hanging out around those places. In the meantime, be safe, have fun. We'll see you next week.